Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah if you're new here, and I am a homeschool mom of 11 children. You are seeing 7 of them right here. And today I just wanted to share with you what our homeschool days look like. I have been homeschooling for 15 or 16 years now and have graduated 2 kids, and a lot of what I have done has changed a lot over the years. And I'm homeschooling in a way now that I never would have before. So I'm going to take you along on our day. This is breakfast, obviously. We don't always eat together, but today we did. The girls have been on a kick of making breakfast all together lately. And while they're cleaning up, everybody has their own jobs. I am just getting my bread dough separated. This is my sourdough bread. I try to work with the little food things in the margins of time that I can find, and getting bread in the pans to rise right away is always a priority for me in the morning because we make all our own bread. After everything is cleaned up, I want to make sure that they've all gotten dressed and brushed their teeth. Although sometimes we just stay in pajamas and just worry about brushing our teeth and get dressed after we do school. That's one of the huge changes that I've made just over years of homeschooling is I am so much more flexible than I used to be. I used to want to run it more like a school. Now I kind of see how my kids are feeling. If they wake up and they're playing so well together, I'm not interrupting them. We will do school in the afternoon. You kind of live and learn on so many things in life, and homeschool is definitely one of them. My older kids had to suffer with my rigidness. Here's the notebook that I use. This is a lifesaver for me because I do have 7 kids that are doing school with me right now. That's a lot, from kindergarten all the way up to like senior year. So I need this notebook. Everybody has a section, and it's all listed out from week 1 to week 36, day 1 through 4 on each of them. And they can go through and work very independently without them. And I can also keep a good eye on what progress they're making. So I like to focus on my kids working independently. That's always been a priority of mine. So they're getting their work done, or I'm maybe meeting with them a little bit and seeing what they need to do. And then here I'm checking Tori's work and going in and checking off that, yes, she really did this. As my kids get older, I give them more flexibility to go through and not just do one day every day, but to work ahead in subjects and pick one subject and go farther. Here's where I keep my little kid stuff. I do like to keep it near me in the kitchen because we do a lot of school at the kitchen table. It's just helpful to have things nearby. So we kind of generally sit around the table together, although sometimes a child just needs some more time like by themselves where it's quieter because our house, it can get loud, and some kids have more trouble focusing with the noise than others. So sometimes I'll send one child to a room or to one of their big siblings' rooms to work for a little while. But generally, I kind of like them all around me where I can see what they're doing, answer questions as needed. I don't keep, for the little girls, I just do some worksheets. I sort of teach from the worksheets, which is another thing I've changed. I used to teach from the curriculum exactly what it would tell me to say and everything, and I realized that it's just easier to teach from the worksheets. So after they get to about 3rd grade, they have a checklist like this that I am constantly referencing. Some of them have their own copies of it. This was a very rainy, gross day. Otherwise, honestly, they may have just been playing outside that morning and us doing school in the afternoon. But when it rains, we get work done. This is my own checklist, and I'm just looking through to check off when a child has finished for the day. On this morning, Eli was playing really well with the little ones. He is super diligent about getting his work done, and he had done a lot of today's work yesterday, so he had very little today. So he was just playing with Peace, and I let it happen because that really helps to occupy Peace. He kept Peace and Seth from fighting too much by his presence being in there. And it's just something he naturally did. I didn't even ask him to do that. So if one of my children is playing with the little ones, I might leave them to do that too. I'm just a lot more flexible like that because it will help everything if I'm not fighting what's naturally happening so much. Sometimes even my bigger kids, I used to worry that if they slept in too much, they wouldn't know what to do when they actually had an actual job. And now, having raised 2 kids all the way up through school, I realized that even the ones who had a tendency to want to sleep in the morning and stay up later at night and get work done late at night and not so much in the morning, they do just fine even when they have an early morning job. So I don't worry about that stuff as much as I did at all. So here's Noelle. She is reading a book. She just is telling me all about what she read in the couple chapters she had to do today. That's how I check if they're really comprehending what they're reading. And now I'm going back to that notebook again, to another child, to check off another thing. Can you tell that notebook is everything to me? I feel like I would lose my mind without it. It does take some time to put it all together at the beginning of their school years when they're starting a new school year, but I can also copy and paste once I've done it. So I read a lot to my kids. We use Sunlight curriculum for third grade all the way to the end. And there's a lot of reading out loud. Right now I'm recording this book with Tori so I don't have to read it again with the next one. Sometimes I get tired of it. Honestly, I've read some of the books 7, 8 times. And so I record myself reading it and then my own commentary in it, and we laugh together. A lot of my kids would rather listen to audiobooks than have to wait till I have a free moment to read to them. So in this way, it kind of is the best of both worlds. I'm always reading history and science with them, and I don't record that, so I'm not worried about still getting some time to read out loud with them. Plus, I do some read out louds with all the kids together. Even Belle does read out louds with all the kids together. She read Narnia to them recently, and that was just for fun. She just did that for fun. So there's a lot of chances to bond that way. But it is really nice to have time one-on-one with children, and mostly it comes in reading out loud. So I do like this recording thing, though. I'm glad I started it. I just use a voice memo on my phone, and then I upload it to a private YouTube channel that only my kids and I know the password of, and I make all those videos private because I just don't want to share those. They're just for my kids, and it's worked out really well for us. So I know they'll be very happy to have those for a long time. They could even play them for their kids if they want to. It's a good investment of my time, I think, and I'm trying to just work smarter, not harder. That's always the goal. I am so much more flexible with a lot of things that I do with my kids, but I still want them to get through a lot of the curriculum that their older siblings did, most all of it. And I've dropped maybe a couple little things, but mostly we've done the same. And I've used Sunlight curriculum, like I said, which is so many books. And one great benefit of that is after I graduated my oldest, I no longer have to buy curriculum because I just keep reusing it. That has been wonderful and a great money saver too. Here's the book we were reading today. This is my 5th time through this book, and I'm glad I'm recording it. Let's just say that. I came downstairs to find that while I was reading to Tori, they all disappeared. They're not doing their work anymore like they were when I left them. I had taken a year off several years ago that we just did more play and not so much focus on curriculum, although we did some curriculum. That year did teach me that kids learn so much in play. Here they're playing with money, they're playing with cards. I learned that play is just as important as the curriculum. Look how exhausting it is here. So as usual, I will take this margin of time to get something done in the kitchen that I want to do. Well, in this case, it's just baking bread. Those 4 loaves that I let rise this morning, gotta get them baked. And I like to, at lunchtime, if they start playing well afterward, to just take a little time to pull out some meat for dinner, kind of figure out what my plan is there. Just do some of the basics. You gotta get some of those basics done, or you get to the end of the day and you don't know what you're eating. So I like to keep that ball rolling, especially in the middle of the day when they get occupied playing well, or they're in a good work streak and they don't need me by them at all moments, keeping them on task. Peace ended up having a pajama day today. She had gotten some new pajamas. She was obsessed with them, so I just changed her diaper in the morning and let her keep wearing them. It was a rainy day after all. We're not doing a lot outside. So it was a good day for a PJ day. And now they're making lunch. Having some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, peanut butter and jelly tortillas, and Eli's finally getting to work. Today I'm working on his list because he just started a new grade. So kind of copying things from Tori's grade, her list on the computer, putting it into his list. And I am personalizing it a little. I filmed this clip because I had to pull out a little bribery. I do it about every couple weeks, where if Destiny, she's the youngest schooling child for me right now, sometimes she can have a hard time working, and so I pulled out some dried mangoes and said, okay, when you're done with half a worksheet, you can have a few of these dried mangoes, which she absolutely loves, and it really did help today. Try to pull that kind of thing out only once in a while. It's not always food, but I'll find some incentive that can just help her get through it on days she's struggling. Everybody has struggle days, but I'll have kids go through seasons where it can just be harder for them. I'm reading a lot to Noelle because we do Abeka actually for curriculum for kindergarten, 1st grade, and 2nd grade, which is a lot of worksheets. But in 3rd grade, where Noelle is when we move to so many books with Sunlight. And so there's a lot of time Noelle and I are spending together right now. We school year-round, so my kids start or end grades just whenever they get to the end. Sometimes a child will need longer to get through a grade. Sometimes they go through it much faster. And I do love just schooling year-round and taking breaks when we need it. For me, it just works way better. And I've noticed that my kids never have to relearn stuff. This is the real life mess that comes with homeschooling. I had to show you this. I would be remiss if I did not show you how messy my house gets every single day. I find if I stop to clean it while I'm homeschooling, I don't get much homeschool done. It's not very effective. I'd rather just plow through, try to focus on the school, and then at the end of our school day, or when most people are about done, especially before dinner, before Dad gets home, something like that, we just all stop and work together. And see, look how quickly it got done. I put on a timer for 15 minutes. At lunchtime, I had put in some chickens. They are smelling good. They are done in my big roaster. And now the house is clean and we're ready to eat. So I'm glad I was just able to focus and get all that school done and try really not hard not to stress about my messy house. Guys, thank you for watching this. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye.